Hello, you are watching Money for Old Rope, and I would like to share with you the results of a recent flip I made on eBay. I was scrolling through some listings for bracelets when I came across this auction. It was described by the seller as a highly decorated Victorian-styled bangle. Now, the seller thinks this is a reproduction, but I'm not convinced. I think it might be the real thing. If we look through some sold listings on eBay, we can see a number of similar listings sold as genuine antique items. Most of them solid silver, some of them reaching really high prices. These buckle designs were very common on rings and bangles from around 1880 onwards, and remain so into the 20th century. Going back to the seller's listing, we can zoom in on some of the photos and have a closer look, and try to work out if this eBayer knows exactly what they are selling. Our first clue is at the front of the bangle. We can see some discoloration to the edges of the belt loop, and this buckle panel seems to have some sort of frosting or pitting on the surface. Another photo shows the inside of the bangle, and you can see some dark colouring around the edges of the panel. These are both indicators about what the bangle is really made of. It's not likely to be brass or copper, as they would turn a green or blue colour when exposed to the air for long periods of time. Sadly, we can also rule out gold. Gold would not show this sort of pitting. It would also not tarnish like we see on the inside. But there is a precious metal that does tarnish and turn black when exposed to the air, and that is silver. Obviously, this bangle is not silver in colour, but it is not unusual for older jewellery to be plated or rolled in gold. The tarnishing from silver will show through gold plating, where the plating is particularly thin. The seller has started this auction at £25 plus post, so I'm not going to be able to buy this cheap, and I'm not certain that I'm correct about this being silver. Luckily, however, we have another clue, and that is the hallmark, or rather, the lack of a hallmark. Jewellery made from precious metals in most countries requires hallmarking to denote its content and purity. The seller did not mention any markings on the bangle, and I can't see any in the photos. In the UK, there was no law about hallmarking silver jewellery until later in the 20th century. So in this case, the absence of a hallmark is exactly what we are looking for. I decided it was worth the risk and asked the seller for a buy-it-now price. We agreed on £40 plus post. A few days later it arrived and I found out if my gamble paid off. Inspecting it in person shows a few more areas where the gold colouring has worn off. The outer edge has a large patch missing, as well as some missing from the inside of the clasp. The metal beneath the gold is silver in colour. I tested it with nitric acid to confirm, and it is positive for sterling silver. Happy with my purchase, I get on with relisting on eBay. As with all my items, I start the listing at £5 to attract as many people as possible. I take some new photos, write an accurate title and description, and list it as a 7-day auction. The condition isn't perfect. As well as the worn gold, there are light scratches and denting visible on the back panel, but considering it's over 100 years old, this kind of minor damage is to be expected. The clasp closes securely and is completely wearable. It even has the original safety chain. And with that, the listing is online, and we will check back in a week's time to find out if we have made any money. 1 week later the listing ends and has sold, and the bids have reached just over £130, almost triple what I paid. After taking off eBay fees, postage cost and the purchase price, I calculate a net profit of around £70. Great success for around 30 minutes work. If you enjoyed this video, please leave a like, and if you would like to see more, please subscribe and join me in the next one. Thank you.